have an interview lined up with our in-house business journalist, Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla, who takes interest today in the work that the Eswatini Development Finance Corporation, popularly known as Finop, has done since inception. We will wrap up the show with a market analysis with economist Sanele Sibia. I am Sifiso Ngumalo. Stay with us over the next 30 minutes. For now, let's look at business news. Our first story, the introduction of the National Payment Switch project by the Central Bank of Eswatini will bring many benefits to the financial sector, which includes fast payment streams. Now, this was said by the Chief Executive Officer of the Bankers Association, Zakhele Lukele, when commenting on the switch system, which the Central Bank said it continues to be implemented, which is a process that started in the year 2020.
The central bank has stated that the domestic switch has been phased into streams, which include fast payment streams, which are aimed at realizing quick gains in the payment space, followed by a card point of sale and ATM streams. The Bankers Association has welcomed this development.
The importance of a switch in all countries cannot be underestimated because you cannot modernize without introducing more modern methods of transferring money across different institutions. Of major benefits, which we see will benefit Eswatini more immediately, is the transfer of funds across different institutions. For instance, sending money from Bank A to Bank B. We hope it will now be seamless and take place within a matter of seconds or minutes, rather than the current system where the transfers take place on two different settlement times. We hope that this will improve not only the transfer of money across and making sure that there's more efficiency in the transfer, but hopefully this will also reduce the cost of transactions. We're still waiting for the unpacking of the full package in terms of the cost, but we are hopeful that this will also improve the cost of transaction. As I've already indicated, transactions will also take place across different the financial institutions. For instance, mobile money operators can now come into the space and other non-bank institutions. So the transfer of money across not only banks, but it will also take place across different financial institutions.
In his annual monetary policy statement addressed last year, the Governor, Dr. Phil Mnisi, said implementing the switch will take approximately 36 months.
The Ministry of Agriculture says it is not trying to force out small businesses and medium enterprises, beef industry, out of business by enforcing the 2013 law that they should slaughter in abattoirs. The Principal Secretary, Sydney Simelane, said this in response to some beef industry small businesses saying government is making it hard for them in preference of bigger beef companies who already have abattoirs. Now, the Principal Secretary says they gave the SMEs options to either build their own abattoirs or build slaughter slabs, which are not costly. Here's a report.
Not intended to force people out of business, and as a matter of fact, that is why the Honourable Minister has decided to suspend the activity and give the abattoir and the butchery owners a period of 4 months to make sure that they now comply with the requirements of the law. The reason we are actually trying to control places where people can slaughter cattle is just two main reasons. The first one being that we are looking at food safety. We want to make sure that what the public consumes is safe. And then secondly, we want to make sure that we want to eliminate completely the issue of cattle theft. That is a big concern. So if you find somebody slaughtering a cow under a tree, it would be difficult for you to know whether that is a legitimate operation or an illegal operation. Of course, this will have an impact on the businesses, but we want to explain that people must understand this activity we are carrying out was not put in place overnight. This is based on a piece of legislation that dates back to 2013. So now all the time we've not been enforcing this, and as more people complain that they are losing their cattle to some people whom we don't know at the moment, then that has forced us to make sure that every cow that is slaughtered in the country is recorded. So we want to record all the slaughter places where the butchery owners slaughter these cattle. And specifically, we prefer that they use abattoirs because abattoirs are actually health conscious. That is a place where we'll have our health examiners or beef examiners come and examine the meat if it is suitable for human consumption. And then at the same time, they are very good at keeping records as to prove that this cow or these cattle belong to somebody else. So this is definitely a concern for us, and we're trying to respond to the call of the nation that people are complaining that they are losing their cattle.
Right, that's it for our news segment. We'll go for a net break. When we return, we speak to our in-house business journalist, Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla, on the work that the Eswatini Development Finance Corporation has done since inception, more so because it has a bearing on poverty alleviation and job creation. Don't go anywhere.
Let us all partake as the King sets out the government agenda for the next parliamentary session. Be part of our live broadcast as we ensure that you do not miss out as His Majesty delivers the speech from the throne. His Majesty King Eswatini III will officially open the first session of the 12th Parliament on Friday. Eswatini TV will provide rolling coverage of the state event from 9 a.m.
Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m, where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
Welcome back. Over 10 billion has been disbursed by Finop to small and medium enterprises in the 28 years of its establishment. The managing director, Dumisani Msibi, said over 15,000 job opportunities have been created with over 90,000 beneficiaries. Finop was established by His Majesty King Eswatini III in an effort to alleviate poverty, ensure job creation and access to finance for eMaswati. Let's talk to Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla briefly about this development. But firstly, Nelsiwe, before we talk to you, we want to play a quick clip by Mr. Dumisani Msibi himself.
As an institution, from time to time, we take stock of how far we have performed against those key pillars of the mandate. Now, if we reflect on access to finance, providing access to finance, looking back from inception, 1996, we are now talking just above 10 billion emalangeni funding that we have disbursed to the citizens. When we look at jobs, and a research that was done by the Technical Training Center at the University of Eswatini, we are currently supporting just above 15,000 jobs through the businesses that we have financed as an institution. The last pillar of poverty alleviation, it may be very difficult for one institution to lay a claim on impact on poverty alleviation, but we look at the communities that we have served, we see a big difference. It is quite evident and visible, in particular, northern side of Ho region and southeast, where we have the sugar farms and the sugar plantations. There has been significant impact in terms of uplifting the lives of the people in those two regions. You reflect, you move into a community, you find a bush. Today it is not a bush, it is a farm that is operating. They have amassed assets and equipment over years. They have improved their homes, they have access to water, they have access to electricity. That speaks to poverty alleviation. They are able to educate their kids on an annual basis and pay fees because they receive dividends on an annual basis from those investments that we made. Many of them have paid off their loans and they've moved on. Instead of just sugarcane farming, they have now moved into logistics. They are now own trucks that move their own sugarcane, but also support other schemes with transport and logistics. That is improvement. Some have even gone further to invest in property.
Yeah, and that's Mr. Dumisani Msibi. He's the managing director of Finop. Nelly, as he's speaking, I can see that he's very proud of the many investments that they've made, particularly about the bush to a sugar cane farm. And I say that, you know, bush to a sugar cane farm, they've paid off their loan. It's a thriving business now, but so many businesses that have been opened, 15,000 jobs created through 90,000 beneficiaries, 10 billion emalangeni that has been disbursed since inception. I was doing my quick maths as he was talking. That's approximately 370 million a year. That's 3,333 beneficiaries, 555 jobs per year, which is, if you were to be a teacher assessing such SOEs in Eswatini, how would you give them a performance here?
Sifiso ngingathi Finop is really doing a commendable job. Now buka ukuthi sebadisperse imali lengaka and bathi 1.5 billion usesetandleni temaswati and bayethemba ukuthi utawubuya. So you can see ukuthi vele bayasebenza. Sitawukhumbula ukuthi Finop iqale ngeminyaka wanga 1996 lapho khona labanye batayikhumbula umbukeli ukuthi bekuyi Enterprise Trust Fund yabuya yabitwa nge44 million. So you can tell ukuthi vele bayasebenza. Yes, they are saying ukuthi they are going to do more because they are introducing new things, new techniques to help bosoma business labancane. Yeah, I was just looking at their 5-year plan that they're about to start. They really want to and it is the fourth industrial revolution anyway. But there's more to be done. You're alluding to that. Maybe as we're speaking to more being done, the prevailing concern from aspiring young entrepreneurs and even just aspiring entrepreneurs as a general umbrella of a word in the barriers to entry into the business market. Maybe address some of those, because I'm very much aware you do speak to the business society, you speak to a lot of, you know, people in the corporate world. Yes, Fiso, bosoma business, we've talked to Business Eswatini. They've highlighted kuna naskwama nje asengibekise lesisa 45 million. Lesi sema SMEs lapho khona uhulumende abesakhele ukuthi kuliwe mhlawumbe nekuwa kwebabhizinisi ngenxa yemkhuhlane iCovid-19. So I think I talked to Business Eswatini and they alluded to the fact that lesikhwama lesi sinedincabekelwano letinengi. So ukhanza ukuthi abakhona kufinyelela kuto, but government, you can tell ukuthi government is listening. We've got more online application for EMA registrations. We've got more Eswatini trade information portal, sinabo electronic queuing system. These are all meant to ensure ukuthi bosoma business bayangena bayaqala manje kuba melula nekusungula ibusiness lapha eveni. We've got more youth enterprise revolving fund doing business clinics, which is something lekahle kakhulu because they have seen ukuthi labo somabhizinisi labancane kwangathi abakhuli kahle. We've got Bosetco doing online trainings, going lemakhaya to ensure that they are doing these trainings to ensure ukuthi labo somabhizinisi labancane bayakhula nabo because sebabonile lokuthi no ngathi akuhambi kahle.
Yeah, I do understand ukuthi nanikhulumisana na Managing Director Dumisani Msibi angagcini kule clip lesibonile kuphela. He also addressed a few concerns that they have in-house nababuka nje batatisha labantu laba bachasa ngale timali. Let's listen to him as he addresses this.
Our citizens are not generally entrepreneurial. We have to dig deep to elevate them to a level whereby they can then run their businesses successfully. So that is why, as an institution, if the question would be, what are you doing with that? Internally, we have invested in a new department called the Business Development Support. And that is meant to do nothing else but assist people who want to start businesses, but they are struggling and they have challenges. Many a time we find that the obstacle between starting a business and an entrepreneur is not funding. It's knowledge, it's skills, it's capacity. So that is why we have taken the view that we should move in and find a way of assisting those that come through with business proposals, and we see that there is an opportunity. But for it to succeed, we have to intervene and provide that kind of capacity building and capacity support. So instead of somebody coming through and we look at the proposal and we say, no, it's not going to work because of A, B, C, and D, we will, if there is an opportunity, we see that this business can succeed, refer them to the Business Development Support Unit for them then to get assistance. Now, there's often an outcry around requirements. Let's be honest, the requirements are meant to strengthen the proposal on the table. So if people were to come through and we don't ask questions, we just fund, just imagine what would happen.
Managing Director of Finop Dumisani Msibi, what I really liked kunakulakusho enzabe ukuthi sebafuna kuqinisekisa kuzabe viability yama business proposals that are being sent in. Of course, huge amounts of monies that ibalako ukuthi bathi disperse. We don't want that money to go to waste,
yeah.
Especially if we are talking about sustainable growth. But inzaba lenkulu kakhulu nele ngifuna ukuthi address yes addressed logo. Inzaba ukuthi youth yakangwane is vibrant. Sibonile sibayeni na submissions na RDF nakaveta lapha ukuthi sikhona sikhwama saka RDF bantu labasha lemaphandleni kakhulu naba basukume baqale emabhizinisi. Engabe what's your sentiment around bantu labasha ne appetite yabo in taking or leveraging these opportunities?
Yes, isifiso bamfula basha babonakala sebasukumile nabo batimisela kusungula emabhizinisi. We've got Youth Chamber of Commerce Industries Eswatini, we've got National Cooperative Alliance nayo yebamfula basha.
Right.
We know ukuthi the unemployment rate currently for young people only it's at 58.2%. Lokuyinombolo lesetulu kakhulu lokusho ukuthi ke vele kufanele ukuthi basukume nabo bamfula basha siyababona bayasukuma. Youth Chamber of Commerce Industries nje under Minister of Commerce, Minister of Commerce ikhona isedvude kwabo iyabasita. We know ukuthi hulumende uthi njengoba sekachazile MD ukuthi it's an issue of ukuthi bantu la Swatini vele basengayitayeli kahle le business, which is why government in the past has said there is a need for a mindset change program lapho khona sitawucala nyalo salo sicabanga ukuthi okay kumcoka ukuthi sisungule emabhizinisi. Yes, government has done something and ubasukumisile bo youth enterprise revolving fund kunabo agriculture fund setinengi letikhwama. Is just that government has to be more visible, kube more vigorous actions towards helping eMaswati, ikakhulu bamfla abasha njengoba ngibo labaningi kakhulu vele labangasebenzi la even.
Quite interesting, Nelly. We do hope that Bantu Labasha set another mindset change program will leverage those opportunities again, because that will help them ekuthenini basheshe bathi tfolele imali basangena nje kunathi imfato yokuthi ascertain viability ma business proposals abo. Thank you for joining us yet again today, Nelly. It was Nelsiwe Ndlangamadla, our in-house financial, or rather business journalist. Developments happening around the market lapha even. We want to go for a net break. Nasibuya we speak to economist Sanele Sibiya engabe langeni nasil comparison lamanye currencies lime kanjani. We'll have the answers shortly.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 762222000 or dial *007 *3 *7#, or you can use Eswatini Imali. You can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any NetBank branch using our TV license account number 119900430037. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
For the next 5 minutes, we'll enjoy a market analysis with Mr. Sanele Sibiya. He's our in-house economist. Welcome to the program, Mr. Sibiya. Thank you so much for joining us. Ngabe nasifuna nje kubuka i-analysis yema currencies lomuhla sitawufuna kuqala phi. What I'm noticing from the graphic losiphe yona indzaba yekwekuthi it's coming up. Indzaba lenkulu kakhulu itolo the Japanese yen nasilibuka nelangeni. The arube ngathi balihlata namhla ngathi it's going down. It's sluggish.
Yes, it's a bit sluggish. Lokusho ukuthi lilangeni lethu namuhla libe nako lokuluza i-value against okay. Nolendlela kubekwe ngayo kusho ukuthi lilangeni lethu namhla lenyukile ke compared to lebendaba elihamba ngayo itolo. Lokusho ukuthi ke namhla kuhamba ngconywana lokho kuyakubukede nathi indzaba lebesolo sibuka lenhla eJapan sibuka naleti market lakhona eJapan ukuthi nyalo ngabe dihamba njani. So na ubuke eJapan tolo prime ihulumende wakhona le Bank of Japan, governor we Bank of Japan uthembisile ukuthi engeke abe too ngeke sikubone lebe sikubona kulama interest rate kulomnyaka lo wengcile. So the market they responda kuloko ikakhulu leta khona eJapan ngiko ngathi namhla kunaloko lesikubonako.
Yeah, let's move on to commodities. I think we also draw interest there. Ngabe, if we analyze our market commodities today, I get concerned every time I see a red arrow this way.
I-arrow lebovu ayihlali info lempi ngoba na ufuna kulithenga nje namhla ugolide uyabona ukuthi kuyakusebenzela wena. Nawo ulithenga kodwa so lokho sikubona ukuthi nanyalo solonginako lesikubona ukuthi kuhambisana nedimarket ukuthi setizama ukuthi ilungiselela ukuthi nale interest rate seyehla nale cost of living seyiphansi so bantu sebayaqala sebayacala sebafaka ngale ma-investments kuma-stocks ngikona nathi nasibuka stock market kulamalanga kakhulu khona America singisona lesi-trade la etulu so nasibuka lokuthi le interest rate seyehlile so le cost of living pressure seyangeke kuba yincane month on month lokho-ke sokushintsha ema-consumer sentiments ukuthi ama-consumers abuka kanjani embili.
Okay, give us an analysis of our Eswatini Stock Exchange. Let's bring it home. What do these numbers tell us today?
Tisho ukuthi namhla siyabona ukuthi uyenyukile i-trading khona kiso stock exchange sethu so nako konke lokhu singakubeka sikubukete ukuthi eMaswati asabhekile ukuthi kusasa nje ingwenyama itabe ivula iParliament so imarket seyacala iyaresponda kulokuthi ingabe lo mutse utawuthini ngoba asacalile asho nje kulamalanga ukuthi no akube livele ligijima koleli tsinkwe na finance minister kulamalanga letako utabe yathula ibudget yakhe so imarket iyaresponda kulonke lento leto ngoba phela ukile waveta umlomdzala ukuthi awu nama sakho receipts enyukile so imarket iyazama ukuresponda positively kuleto ndzaba leto ngeke sibona i-trading activity yangekwenyuka ku stock exchange.
The JSE sluggish performance on that front. What is the result to this? What resulted to this?
I-JSE ke uyati nje ukuthi nakunesona khona ngale kubomakhelwane ihlezi kune chaos
namuhla
inamuhla isona ngale so imarket igadze lokho nje isebukete lokho ukuthi ingabe President Ramaphosa nakathula State of the Nation address sakhe yini la doubt akulungiswa ingabi kakhulu ngananga ema-power utilities la tinkampani tahulumende ngale kubomakhelwane ati sito letihamba kahle kulamalanga so imarket ibhekile ukuthi ingabe utawuthini ngekulungiswa kaloko simvile itolo nje ngiko ivale itolo ibe isetundlwana itolo maka khuluma ethembisa ukuthi no batayilungisa i-mining sector so imarket namhla igadze kubuka i-consistency so I think lena nje indlela ukuthi iyamkhombisa ayimthembi ngisitawufika kushintshe namuhla
ngabe utawuthini sesitawumuva nzambama. S&P 500 New York Stock Exchange, there's the Nasdaq 100 as well as the Dow Jones. Ngabe tisitshelana inombolo?
No lokwenyuka lokusho ukuthi imarket iyangeke ucina namhla ihamba iyenyuka bantu sebatrader kanconywana lokho akunako siyakuthatha sikubuyisela kulama cost of living pressures ukuthi bantu nawubuka bona ema-traders across the globe sekanako lokho ukuthi le mali yabo banisekulula ukuthi bayikhiphe bayifake etimarket kunethi ihlale emakhikhini lekhathi ema-price abenyuka kakhulu so ema-consumers nawo abenako lokusichabe kagadze sinoti tawunyuka swatsenyuke kakhulu so bantu sebathatha imali bayifaka etimarket lesevele nato tibhekile kokuthi kulamalanga letaku interest rate tawucala yehle umkhicido market.
Yeah, the London Stock Exchange London currently, is not a happy place with what's happening to King Charles, but tisitshelana inombolo.
Tinombolo tiveta ukuthi imarket ayikatfuki kakhulu ngekugula kwemflomdzala khona lena eLondon ngoba nathi solo tiyanyuka lokho nako siyakuthatha sikufake lapha kokuthi lama consumer sentiments angconywana kunalibeka ngeke kuletinyanga letengcile ngalokuthi wonke umvuso uhlahle emehlo sesigadze bonke bogovernor be-central bank ukuthi isale nehlisa phela uyabona so sesigadze lesikhathi usingabe batawehlisa nini banje kona sesilinzile sichaza lekwehle.
Sesigathe ngalabovu kanti ke lokunye sesigathe ngalabovu ukuvulwa kwayo iParliament esukwini lakusasa sesivele sibuke lokho kanti ke sesifike emaphethelweni ehlelo lethu lo muhla. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sitawubuya ke next week ka-Market View ngemsombuluko. Be sure to tune in again next week. Thank you so much Mr. Spear for joining us on the program. Bongosi, sale kahle.